So Rublev gives Djokovic a bagel and Carlos Alcaraz breaks into the top 10 after winning Barcelona all as an 18-year-old. So much action this week on the ATP, so let's break it down here on The Slice. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to The Slice.
So as we all saw on the weekend, Rublev ended up beating Djokovic in the Serbia Open final in Belgrade. Very not cool of him to beat Djokovic in front of the Serbian crowd and give him a bagel when we all know that Djokovic is gluten intolerant. Not cool from Andrey Rublev. Just kidding. Congrats to Andrey. That was a great week and a great final against Djokovic, who actually played a lot better. We're going to get into the improvements he made and the improvements he needs to still make if he wants to defend his title at Roland Garros. And then Carlos Alcaraz, just the 18-year-old who's now just seems like a dominant figure on the ATP that every player, including Tsitsipas, has to watch out for and just has to do something special to beat because he's so good. He wins Barcelona, routining Pablo Carreño Busta in the final. So we will break it all down before I say thank you for subscribing. Liking this video helps out a lot, so smash the like button. Also, if you want to up your tennis game and get a better tennis bag, Go Sport is the official bag sponsor of The Slice. And you can get 10% off by clicking the link below and then going and getting yourself the best tennis bag on the market. So Djokovic in the Serbia Open. A lot better week than in Monte Carlo, obviously, losing first round in Monte Carlo. Djokovic won 3 matches, coming back from a first set down in all 3 of them. So kind of similar to the US Open last year. Definitely an improvement over Monte Carlo. He beat Jere, Kecmanovic, 2 Serbian guys, and then Khachanov in 3 sets, like I said. And you definitely saw his form getting better to where the last 2 sets against Khachanov were quite good. I thought he stayed close up on the baseline and he played his aggressive style tennis. And he had the range in his game that we didn't see in Monte Carlo. And we were starting to think, okay, this looks like a smooth operating Djokovic. He's getting back to his optimal level, or at least moving in that direction, which is great to see. Against Rublev in the final, though, Rublev, as we should know, is a different cat than the rest of those 3 guys I just mentioned for Djokovic. So if Djokovic was going to beat Rublev, he would have had to play very good tennis and be able to battle at the top level of the game because Rublev is a top 10 player. And he came out playing some of his best tennis. He wasn't redlining, but he was just playing extremely good Rublev clay court tennis. So in the first set, Rublev was a bit too much for Djokovic, and he was pushing him around, and it's just it wasn't missing. So hard to play against Rublev like that. It's interesting. I remember last year Rublev told me, I asked him in press conference, do you play, because he hits so big and he has such power, when do you rein that in? I asked him when he reins that in. Does he always just try and hit as huge as he can, or does he try and not miss against some people? And he said against opponents like Djokovic, who can defend really well, he tries to rein it in a bit and not go for as much because he doesn't want to start missing. And I feel like that's what we saw in the first set, and then into the second set. Rublev started to get really upset right when Djokovic pressured at the beginning of the set, but then he broke back and they got it to a tiebreaker. Djokovic wins. Great effort from Djokovic there, but the tiebreaker and the rallies at some of the end of that set were so savage it took the wind out of both of them. They were both looking totally gassed. And then I feel like we kind of realized, Djokovic is 34, Rublev is 24, and then Djokovic in the third set just absolutely physically went away, and Rublev went away with it, bagel. So a lot of improvements this week from Djokovic, but the fitness still seems to be the same. He said afterwards, quoting our friend of the show, Sasha Osmo, Djokovic said that in the third set he felt like in Monte Carlo. It's a bit worrisome. I can only assume it's because of the illness that hit me a few weeks ago, but I have to look at the positives. I've won 3 matches from a set down. So yeah, that's true, but he said it's not COVID, but it was some other type of illness. Side note though, if you were the type of Djokovic fan who was roasting Rafa Nadal for complaining about his rib issue, you guys were quoting the rib issue, he has a cracked rib, you have to be roasting Djokovic now for bringing up the fact that he had an illness weeks ago that he says is still affecting his illness. If you roast Nadal, you shouldn't roast Nadal at all for talking about a cracked rib. If you roast Nadal, you have to be roasting Djokovic now, or else you're just not honest, and then you're not an authentic fan. But anyways, back to the matter at hand, Djokovic has made improvements in his game. That's going to be obvious. Hopefully, he needs to do that. He still needs to do some things like obviously get over whatever this illness is that the lag, maybe it's a long COVID, I don't know, he did have COVID. And he also needs, in his game, he needs to find his serve again. He only won 58% of first serves against Andrey Rublev. That's not going to cut it. Normally, you'd see Djokovic in the 70s to 80s. Clay court, 80s for sure on a hard court, but it's going to be lower on a clay. But 70s would be passable, I think. So he needs to get better on his first serve, have that be a weapon again, and he just needs to be able to go 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets. And that's, he's got a month to do that before Roland Garros. So can he do it? I think he can. But it's going to be interesting to see. Madrid next week, so that's going to be a big, interesting thing to watch. And Rublev, what a week for Rublev. Gets the title on clay, beating Djokovic, which is huge for him. And he played great. It's been a bit of a weird, people have talked about it, it's been a bit of a weird 2022 for him. He is obviously doing well. He's still number 8 in the title, and he is number 6 in the race to turn in the 2022 points race. So he's had a good year. This is a really good win for him, though. First one against Djokovic, so that's got to feel good. And I thought he played super good tennis. Like I said, controlled aggression, hitting the forehand and backhand well, and just playing really good. And his serve, he looks like he's beefed up a little bit, got a little bit more muscle on those bones, which is definitely a good thing for him. Carlos Alcaraz, though, wins Barcelona ATP 500. There's just not enough that you can say about this kid. It's so crazy. Youngest player since Rafa into the top 10. He's number 9 now, ahead of Felix. And does it at the same week. I think it was 2005 Barcelona that Nadal got into the top 10. Now Carlos is in it. He beats Tsitsipas again. He saves a match point in the semifinals against Alex de Minaur. And then he routines Pablo Carreño Busta in the final. Doesn't even face a break point in the final. After he'd already played 3.5 hours earlier in the day. Pablo Carreño had played less time earlier in the day because of all the rain that was happening in Barcelona. So Carlos, it's just crazy when the confidence I have in him that he's going to figure out matches or win. It's like the same confidence I have in Nadal winning a match basically at this point. Or it's just the crazy that we have him seeming like a dominant force in the ATP where other players are going to have to really find something special to win. You had the feeling that Tsitsipas had to find something special to win that, to come back. So that's crazy. In the Tsitsipas, that's the biggest interesting thing for me was Carlos beating Tsitsipas again on clay. I thought coming into clay, Tsitsipas would have the advantage. And I still do believe because Tsitsipas won Monte Carlo the week before, it comes straight into playing Barcelona, so he's more tired. So there's that, and it looked a little bit like that was the case in the match. And there was also some drama, Tsitsipas changed his clothes at a changeover, and you can't do that, so he got deducted 2 points at a critical point in the match. So it's a bit dusty there, but still, this is to me. And then we all saw it. Tsitsipas tries to clock Carlos with the ball, which is a fair play in my opinion. Totally fair play. You should put your hand up at the end, which I couldn't see if you did, but it's a fair play. It's kind of I'm assuming he's super frustrated losing 3 matches in a row to an 18-year-old, and that's about it. And tennis, if you do a kind of a trash volley and leave it sitting there, the guy can go right at you. That's just how it works. But the drama between that match and I love their game styles. The Tsitsipas Alcaraz game style matchup is awesome. They're both so athletic, such good movers. So I want to see that matchup again instantly. I want to see it in Madrid. That would be awesome. I hope they're in the same quarter because there's more stories to be told in that matchup for sure. So Carlos Alcaraz, number 9 in the world now, wins Barcelona. Craziness. So Madrid next week. I will hopefully maybe get a press pass there. Rome the next week. Hope to get a press pass there as well. Might be at both of them. Might be at neither. Actually, I will be at Rome for some part of it. Carlos Alcaraz, absolutely on fire right now. Most electric and exciting player in tennis, in my opinion. And that's just crazy. What are your thoughts on Alcaraz winning Barcelona? What are your thoughts on Djokovic's progress? What are your thoughts on Andrey Rublev taking the title in Serbia? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you for being here. Join Europass by joining the channel, clicking the join button to become a member, or joining us on Patreon, and get around all the links down below. It really supports the show. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon here again on The Slice.